Hey folks, we're going to do a quick video for you on a honey sweet cornbread. So I'm preheating my oven to 375 degrees, and while that's preheating, I'm going to go ahead and get my muffin pan ready. Since I have a dark muffin pan and I'm using this square shaped instead of round, I am going to go ahead and spray it with vegetable oil. You can use whatever kind of oil you like. If you use a Pam spray or something like that, that's totally up to you. I just use a regular vegetable oil from my supermarket in a spray bottle. And I just do a little direct spray into each of the cupcake wells. And then I just take a quick brush of a paper towel and kind of move it around inside there just to make sure I have a nice coating on it. It'll help my muffins lift out later. And while my oven is preheating, I'm going to go ahead and put this in so that this pan preheats with my oven. So while that's preheating, we're going to go ahead and we're going to make our corn muffin mix. So I have 1 cup of yellow cornmeal. I have 1 cup of all-purpose flour. I have 3.5 teaspoons of baking powder. And I have 1 teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to take these dry ingredients and just blend them together just to get them mixed and give them a chance to meld. All right. Once I have that mixed, I'm going to add to my dry mix, I'm going to add 1 cup of milk. And you can choose whatever milk you normally use. So whatever fat ratio, if you're using whole milk or 2% or 1%, that's just up to you. You can add that in there. I'm doing 1/2 cup of honey, and I heated my honey up in the microwave for about 20 seconds. It just allows it to pour a lot smoother, and I get more out of my measuring cup that way. Less stuck to the sides when it can run out easier. I have 1/3 cup of melted butter, and that was about 20 seconds in the microwave also to melt that from refrigerator cold. So if your butter's at room temperature, you can decide how long that will take. And here in my bowl from my butter, I'm going to go ahead and crack 1 room temperature egg. And I'm going to give that a little stir just to break that up as I add it in. We have farm fresh eggs that our hens lay, and so the yolk tends to be a lot thicker. And I found that when I'm baking, my recipes do a lot better if I break those yolks first before going in. I'm sure it's the same for store-bought eggs as well. And then I'm just going to mix this. This is a really loose batter. It's not going to thicken up very much. It will thicken up as the honey sets and as the butter sets, because those tend to be a lot thicker as they cool. But as I'm mixing them in here, I'm going to have a pretty runny batter. Now that my batter is ready and I have a nice easy stir on that, I'm going to go ahead and bring my pan over. All right, with my pan nice and hot, I can feel the heat coming off of it. It's well heated from being in my oven. I'm going to use my 1/4 cup measuring cup and a little rubber spatula to help me get my batter from my bowl into my muffin tins. I don't know if you can hear it or not. There's a little bit of sizzle as I scoop it over, and you'll see as the batter has set, it has thickened quite a bit as well. Again, that's due to the cooling of the butter and also of the honey. So I'm going to fill up this nice muffin tin here. I'm going to put it in my oven for about 15 minutes, maybe a little bit longer. It's really just going to depend on your oven, depends on your humidity, and so many other factors that you have going. I have a small wall oven, so they tend to cook a little quicker than your larger ovens do. And they also tend to cook a little hotter. So depending on your oven, you might even want to go up to 400 degrees with this cornbread. But again, like I said, my little ovens tend to heat hotter. And so for that, I tend to turn the temperature down a little bit and just maybe cook them a minute or two longer. Okay, so that batter just made the perfect pan of 12 muffins. We're going to go ahead and put this back in the oven, and we will get back to you as soon as they're baked. So I pulled these beauties out of the oven right at 15 minutes. They have a nice soft spring back to them. The muffin doesn't cave or leave an imprint when I touch it, and it's pulling nicely away from the sides. I'm going to let them cool for a couple minutes, and then we're going to take them out of the pan. Alright, so just gave them a couple minutes to cool. They're still hot and steamy as I pull them out of the pan. I think one of the reasons I like this square pan is because it's so easy to just slip a little spatula in there and lift the muffins out. So we're gonna get these plated. These are served perfect with a honey butter or cinnamon butter. Also, you can have them nicely like with chili or with soups and stews. They freeze really well. They fit nicely into a Ziploc bag. You can put a couple in a bag and pull them out 2 at a time. You can put a bunch of them in and make a head. It's just a simple, easy cornbread recipe. We like the honey on the recipe itself that you get in the printed version. Gives you some options for using something other than honey in them. We do have several diabetics in our family, and we have found that the honey metabolizes better for them without raising their blood sugar as much as the regular sugars do. So you'll find a lot of my cooking tends to use some of those alternate sugars that will help my family members be able to use these a lot better. So thank you for joining us, and I hope you enjoy your sweet honey cornbread muffins.